Hey there, Helldiver. First, take a look at this. This is a tier list of the weapons that could take down a harvester the fastest, starting from the moment the attack hit. Generally, people often aim for the leg joints to take down harvesters, but I'll also introduce some unexpected weaknesses that can take them down even faster. However, this tier list is just a byproduct of this video. The core of the video is a guide summarizing important hints for defeating harvesters with each support weapon. I've also prepared a basic explanation of harvesters so that even beginners can easily understand. To put it mildly, this is the result of crushing over 100 harvesters, so you should gain important knowledge that will be useful in your battle against the Illuminates. Now, let's start the Illuminate Harvest Festival. First, let's look at the basic method for destroying a harvester using an anti-materiel rifle. If the harvester hasn't detected you, the best strategy is to destroy its shield generator endgame for its leg joints. Shooting the leg joints will destroy it in first shots. However, the harvester's greatest weakness lies elsewhere. Aiming for the tips of its legs will destroy it in 3 shots, making this the fastest method of destruction. In actual combat, when aiming for the tips of the legs, it's best to fire the moment the harvester's legs touch the ground. Diving to get closer will make it easier to hit. When aiming from a distance, it's best to aim through the scope. You won't always be able to aim for the tips of the legs, but try to do so whenever you have the chance. Let's also check what happens if you only shoot the harvester's face. Normally aiming for the eyes is faster, but for testing purposes, we tried aiming while avoiding the eyes. As a result, it took 15 nuts to destroy it, including the shield generator. I tried aiming for the eyes as much as possible, and it took 7 shots to destroy the harvester. The face is easier to hit than the leg joints, so depending on the situation, aiming this way might be a good idea. In this example, 3 shots hit the eyes. Incidentally, if you hit the eyes with all your shots, you can destroy it in 5 shots. However, if you have that kind of skill, aiming for the leg joints would be more efficient. As a point of caution, when attacking the harvester, concentrate your aim on a single point. Shooting the leg joints 3 times and then aiming for the face will not allow you to destroy it quickly. This shooting method is inefficient, so avoid it as much as possible. Ultimately, it took 18 bullets to shoot it down. Next, let's look at the Criminal. I tried burning the harvester's face from a distance of about 20 meters. I thought destroying the shield first would allow me to defeat it faster, but there was no difference in the result. Now, let's compare this to targeting the leg joints. The difference isn't huge, but burning out the leg joint seems to allow for a slightly faster defeat. If you get close and accurately aim for the leg joints, it's possible to defeat it in 1 second. When aiming like this, I think it's easier to hit if you attack while moving to the left, so please try it. When aiming for the face, it's more effective if the flame hits the eyes. In this example, I was able to defeat it in about 1.5 seconds. It's possible to defeat it even from a distance of more than 20 meters, but it's not recommended because it becomes harder to dodge the laser. It also becomes harder to aim, so it takes longer to defeat. When using the cremator, the tips of the legs are difficult to aim at, and it doesn't seem to defeat the harvester that quickly, so there's no need to force yourself to aim there. I also tried using a flamethrower against the harvester. In the fastest case, I managed to take it down in about 4 seconds by aiming for its face. Aiming for the leg joints often took around 7 seconds, so it seemed to be slower to take it down. When using a flamethrower, it's best to aim for the head. Before moving on, let's briefly explain the basics of the harvester in a way that's easy for beginners to understand. When a harvester detects a Helldiver, it deploys a shield. With a few exceptions, you cannot damage a harvester unless you destroy a shield. This shield can be destroyed with light-penetrating weapons, but it will redeploy after 12 seconds. To prevent this, you need to destroy the shield generator mounted on the harvester. Let's check this using the support weapon, the machine gun. These protrusions are shield generators. Destroying either one will prevent the shield from deploying. They cannot be destroyed with light armor-piercing weapons, so a weapon capable of penetrating medium armor is needed. Now that the shield generators are destroyed, let's try to take down the harvester. The harvester's face is heavily armored, so it cannot be damaged with medium armor-piercing weapons. Basically, when using medium armor-piercing weapons, you'll be aiming for the leg joints. Hitting them with the machine gun is a little difficult, but if you hit them well, you can take it down in about 80 shots. The tips of the the legs can be damaged with medium armor-piercing weapons. Aiming with the machine gun requires a bit of timing, but if done correctly, you can take it down in 1.5 seconds. About 25 rounds of ammunition were consumed. Also, when you get close to the harvester, it will fire an electric shock, but you can avoid it by diving. Listen carefully to the charging sound before the electric shock hits and try to get the timing right. The safest option is to wear armor that is resistant to electricity, while the slowing effect of the electric shock cannot be neutralized. Combining it with a vitality booster will almost completely negate the damage. Oh, and the laser damage cannot be reduced. Even a graze can be fatal, so be sure to dodge it. Next, let's look at Autocannon. First, let's answer the question of which is more effective, ATACT or flak. Until you destroy the shield generator, flak is more effective. The shield can be destroyed in 1-2 shots, and the generator in 1 shot. On the other hand, ATACT requires 2 shots to destroy the generator. It requires 4 shots to destroy the shield. However, if you are targeting the harvester itself, ATACT is more effective. If you aim for the leg joints, you can destroy them in 4 shots. The harvester will stagger when hit, so aim carefully. While the results aren't always the same, it takes about 8 shots to take it down by shooting the leg joints with flak. Also, the harvester won't stagger when attacked with flak, so be careful of the laser. Trying to take down the harvester by aiming for its face will take considerably longer. When I tried shooting it with a PhD rounds, it took about 15 shots to take it down. If you've already damaged it with other weapons, or if you're working with a teammate to take it down, you can aim for the face. If you're aiming for the tips of its legs, use a PhD rounds. 4 shots should be enough to take it down. While not a support weapon, let's also examine the eruptor. The results may vary slightly, but aiming for the leg joints will allow you to take down the enemy in 4 shots. Now let's try aiming for the tips of the legs. The result was that it took 3 shots to take them down, but sometimes 4 shots were needed. This method may be faster, so it's worth trying depending on the situation. Next up is the laser cannon. We'll compare which is faster, aiming at the leg joints or the eyes. The result shows that aiming at the leg joints took about 1 second faster, so it seems generally better to aim there. If the laser completely missed the eyes, it took 12.5 seconds to take down the harvester. If you're in a position where you can aim at the eyes, it's better to shoot a different part of the body. If you have a chance to shoot from behind, try aiming at this part. After dealing a certain amount of damage, the armor on its face will break. Once the armor is broken, you can shoot the side of its face to defeat it like this. When using the laser cannon, aiming at the tips of its legs yielded decent results. Approximately 3.5 seconds of laser fire is enough to defeat it. Depending on the situation, it might be worth trying. The weak point at the back of the head, which I mentioned earlier, can be damaged even with light armor-piercing weapons. Once a part is destroyed, try shooting the side of the face instead of the same spot. Let's also touch on the harvester's eyes. While shooting the eyes will inflict damage even with light armor-piercing weapons, relying solely on this method is not recommended. It's extremely difficult to hit the eyes, and it consumes a considerable amount of ammunition to defeat it. Furthermore, if the parts around the eyes are damaged, the laser's behavior becomes unstable, making it harder to dodge. So, when is it most effective to target the eyes? It's after you've dealt significant damage to the harvester. For example, while 1 thermite is rarely enough to kill a harvester, you can quickly take it down by targeting its eyes and following up with another attack. You can also try to deal damage before the thermite explodes. When throwing thermite, be careful as it won't hit unless you destroy the shield. Next, let's try defeating the harvester using the Speargun. If you aim for its leg joints, you can defeat it in 3 shots. Also, hitting the harvester with the Speargun will make it stumble, allowing you to stop its laser. If you aim at the harvester's face, the results will vary greatly depending on whether you hit the harvester's eye or not. If you don't get any shots in the eye, it will take 9 shots to defeat it, so it's best to avoid it as much as possible. If you're lucky, you might be able to kill it in 4 shots, but it's still faster to aim for the leg joint. The fastest way to take it down is by shooting the tip of its leg with a Speargun. It only takes 2 shots, so you can take it down in less than 3 seconds. Try it if you get the chance. Next, let's look at the de-escalator. The results varied, but there were several cases where aiming for the left leg joint resulted in a kill in 3 shots. I think the angle of impact plays a role, but the 3-shot kills occurred when aiming at the left side of the harvester. Aiming for the right leg joint often required 5 or more shots, but the exact reason for this is unknown. Regardless of which joint you aim for, the success rate isn't high, so you should expect to need at least 1 magazine's worth of ammunition. In this video, we were able to kill it in 5 shots. The results also differ considerably when aiming for the harvester's face. If you fire haphazardly like this, it's not uncommon to need 2 magazines to kill it. It seemed that aiming as close to the center of the harvester as possible resulted in a kill with fewer shots. By aiming carefully like this, we were able to kill it in 6 shots even when shooting its face. Ultimately, the question of whether to aim for the leg joint or the face is a difficult one. Depending on the situation, if you can't aim calmly, it's okay to aim for the face, even if it means using 2 magazines. If you're lucky, you can take them down in about 9 shots like this. Personally, I recommend aiming for the left leg joint, but be aware that it's surprisingly difficult to hit. It won't always go this smoothly. Also, depending on the situation, consider aiming for the tip of the leg. You can take them down in about 2 shots. Next, let's try using the arc thrower. The results varied considerably, but in the fastest example, we were able to take down a harvester in 13 shots. While we don't know the exact reason, it seems that the relative position to the harvester, rather than the aiming point, has a greater impact. It might be more effective to fire with the image of the electric shock passing through the leg joints and hitting the face. On the other hand, when positioned like this relative to the harvester, it often took an average of 20 shots. In this example, it took 19 shots to kill it, but sometimes it took as many as 25 shots. It can be stunned with 3 shots, but killing it alone will take a considerable amount of time. As mentioned earlier, attacking from about 30 degrees to the center of the harvester will likely result in a faster kill. The strategy of stunning the enemy with arc thrower and then having hot dog burn them is effective. I also tried combinations with King Einen guard dog, but they weren't as effective. Next, let's look at the heavy machine gun. If you aim for the leg joints, you can take down an enemy in about 25 shots, but the recoil is strong, making it difficult to hit with all the bullets. When aiming for the face, if you try to hit the eye as much as possible, you can take down an enemy in about 25 shots as well. However, if you don't hit the eye very often, it seems like you'll need around 50 shots. In actual combat, this is more likely to happen. When shooting the tips of the legs, it's easier to hit if you get as close as possible. If you do it this way, you can take down an enemy in less than a second. To be precise, you only need 9 shots to take them down. So don't give up even if you're running low on ammo. If you dive in with the door-die attitude, the blessing of democracy will descend upon you. Oh no, the harvester's curse has fallen upon us. Next, aim for the leg joints with the maxigun. If successful, you can take it down in about 3 seconds with less than 100 shots. However, hitting accurately is quite difficult, so I recommend wearing ergonomic armor. As with the heavy machine gun, it's very difficult to hit the tips of the legs unless you get close. If successful, you can take it down in 1 second. Next up is the belt-fed grenade launcher. We'll compare whether there's a difference aiming at the harvester's face and leg joints. When aiming at the joints, it took about 20 shots to take it down, so theoretically this method is faster. However, in reality, it's difficult to hit the leg joints with every shot, so this is the more common result. In the end, I fired about 40 shots, so I think aiming for the eyes is the quickest way to take it down. The tips of the legs are difficult to hit, so it's best to avoid aiming there. Even if every shot hits, I don't think it necessarily means you'll take it down faster. Incidentally, the GL-21 grenade launcher has been reverted to its previous specifications via a patch. Please note that this means it can no longer destroy harvesters, since it seems it won't inflict any damage on the main body. Its only use will likely be destroying shields. Next, let's check about Railgun. If you're aiming for the leg joints, it's a good idea to charge for about 1.5 seconds. Even with this charging time, you can defeat it with 2 shots. If you want to aim at the face, You can kill it into shots by shooting the I once and then the part where the armor is broken. The results will vary slightly depending on the charging time. I would also like to introduce some points to keep in mind when using Railgun. Unlike other weapons, if you keep shooting in the eyes, it will slow down the kill. As you can see, you can't defeat it even if you shoot at it this much. As before, shoot around the eyes once the armor is broken. The last shot hit the part where the armor was broken. I don't think you'll have much of a chance to aim at it, but if you destroy the back part of its face and then shoot at the side, it was possible to defeat it with 2 shots. The most effective method is when you aim at the tip of the leg. If it charges for 2.2 seconds, it can be defeated in 1 shot. I don't know exactly how much to charge, but 1.6 seconds is not enough to kill it in 1 shot. It is best to charge it for at least 2 seconds. Next, let's look at Epoch. If you shoot the leg joints or face with a full charge, you can usually kill it in 1 shot. However, this changes if the harvester hasn't spotted you. Shooting the eyes or leg joints won't kill it in 1 shot. I think this is because the harvester's shield deploys upon impact, preventing the explosion damage. To avoid this, aim for the shield generator above its face. Even from a distance of about 45 meters, you can kill it with 1 full charge shot. I was also able to kill it by aiming for the shield generator from the side. However, do not aim for the shield generator below its face. The shield won't deploy, but you still can't kill it with 1 full charge shot from there. Also, I think the angle of impact plays a role, but it seems that even shooting the face doesn't always kill it in 1 shot. When aiming from behind, shooting the leg joints seems less effective. Even 2 full charge shots weren't enough to kill it. In these cases, aim for this area. You can take it down in 1 shot here, but the hitbox isn't very big, so aim carefully. As you can see, it's not just any part of the back of the head that will do. Aiming like this requires to fully charge each shot's shots. As for the tips of the legs, even a fully charged shot won't take it down in 1 hit. You'll need an additional uncharged shot, so there's no particular reason to aim there. Next, let's check out expendable anti-tank. If you hit the harvester's eyes or leg joints, you can kill it in 1 shot. Of course, even if you shoot the tip of the leg, it's only 1 shot. If you hit the face or leg, you won't be able to defeat it with 1 shot, so try to avoid it. If you get hit in the face, try aiming at the eye with your primary weapon. It's a little difficult to hit, but you can defeat it quickly. The same goes for shooting in the back of the head. But if you follow up by aiming at the side of the face, you can deal with light armor piercing weapons. If you use the recoils as rifle, you can kill it with 1 shot even if you aim at the face or the back of the head. However, if you shoot the shield generator legs, you will not be able to defeat it with 1 shot, so try to avoid it. The only time I was able to kill it with 1 shot using commando was when I aimed at the joints and tips of the legs. If you shoot him in the face, you can kill him with 2 shots. But if you hit him in the eye more than once, the effect will be low, so try to avoid it. You won't be able to defeat him even if you hit him in the eye continuously like this, so make sure to hit him in the eye no more than once. Next, regarding the C4 pack, you'll need at least 2 explosives to take down a harvester. Even if you attach the C4 to the tip of its leg, you'll need to take it down. The result is the same, even if you attach it to the leg joint. You don't need to aim too precisely, so it's easier to throw it towards its face. Note that if you throw C4 while its shield is deployed, it won't stick to the harvester. To ensure you take it down with 2, it's best to destroy the shield before throwing. There's a chance of failure, but you can take it down without destroying the shield by detonating it in my draft. Also, if you detonate it at its feet, you can take it down with 2, even without directly attaching it. If you only have 1 C4, try aiming for its eye after detonating it. The harvester will have very little health left, so you can take it down quickly. Unlike in Epoch, it's okay even if the enemy hasn't spotted you. Next up is the Wasp Launcher. While there may be some variation, I was able to take down an harvester with about 12 shots when they had no shield. Even when shooting through a shield, it seemed like the magazines were enough to take them down. But not all shots would hit. Since shots can hit obstacles, I recommend destroying the shield as much as possible before aiming. Next is the Leveler. If you shoot the harvester in the face, it will kill in 1 shot. However, if If you hit its feet or directly in the legs, it won't kill in one shot. Of course, you can't kill it by shooting it through its shield with the leveler. The same result occurs when using solo silo. The harvester with its shield deployed survived. Here are the TTK values for the weapons I tested this time. Considering the fight against the new enemy faction added to Illuminate, the appropriators, I still think the De-escalator and Anti-materiel rifle are excellent choices. I also have a video summarizing the Veracitor and Gatekeeper, so please check that out as well. Please subscribe to the channel and look forward to the next video. Thank you for watching.